UFC fighters have a fire inside them that burns pretty bright, but often this same fire leads them into pretty stupid situations that could end their careers. Let's look at UFC fighters who destroyed their careers. The first one literally went to prison.
I got the better of the night. A fight for me daughter, I wear a thing, a penny that she give me all the time.
Paul Kelly. His final UFC match was in 2011, where he lost to Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Since then, he's fought twice in England, as well as in other local exhibitions. More than a decade ago, the British lightweight was caught as part of a larger cocaine trafficking operation. He was blamed for orchestrating the whole thing. The guy was found guilty of heroin trafficking charges back in the middle of May 2013 and was serving a 13-year sentence in prison. Kelly reportedly earned up to £100,000 a year from his MMA fights, but after being released from the UFC in 2011, he went to a life of crime. He has a 5-4 record in the UFC and was twice awarded the Fight of the Night bonus. After 13 years in jail, Kelly's boxing career was almost over. He's back now, but it's just not how it used to be. Then there's the star who watched his career go down the drain because of his controversial moves.
In spite of, they still succeeded. So I'm nobody.
Mike Tyson, of course. When we say this man has done it all, we mean it. He was born and raised in a low-income Brooklyn neighborhood. He was teased relentlessly as a child due to his weight and lisp. But he eventually discovered his voice via burglary, violence, and drug usage. He was part of the Cats, group of young people that hung out on Rutland Road. Tyson was arrested in 1991 for the hotel room rape of an 18-year-old model, former Miss Black Rhode Island, Desiree Washington. He has discussed his activities openly in the past and said that in his prime he enjoyed orgies, slept with several women. He even managed to get his fix while he was locked up. Women would come to see him in jail only to have sex with him, and he was always happy to comply. When Tyson donated a jail drug counselor over £8,000 to mend her roof, the two became romantically attached, and it just added fuel to the fire. His mystique extends outside the ring thanks to allegations of domestic violence against his ex-wife, his admission of a cocaine addiction, and a conviction that resulted in prison time. And all that ruined his career for good.
Make all the money and everything, but boxers always have 10 times more money.
Talk about ruined careers. Thiago Silva comes to mind. No one will ever know the whole story of his cover-up tactic leading up to his UFC 125 match against Brandon Vera. That's because the Black Zillions boxer gave a fake urine sample. He was able to dodge testing. Based on its findings, the NSAC concluded that Silva submitted an adulterated and/or substituted specimen for testing for the urinalysis, since his sample was inconsistent with human pee.
It's just do something, work is my stand-up.
In a hearing, he testified that he injected himself with steroids 30 to 45 days before the Vera match. All that just to help him recover from a back ailment. Wow, maybe try resting, bro? Cost him $33,700 in penalties and a year's ban. Jeez, I can't imagine dishing out all that money on fines. Late in 2012, after his bout with Stanislav Nedkov, Silva tested positive for marijuana metabolites. The Brazilian lost his victory and was given a 6-month ban from the UFC after failing a drug test for the second time. A major problem for his career is that he only fails drug tests after victories. His official record since September 2009 is 0-2 due to vacated wins. That must have hurt. Imagine going through all the hassle of fighting and then the win not even getting counted. Kinda hilarious, but pretty sad for him. Kids, that only goes to show how cheating will take you nowhere in life. And we know a guy who took things to the next level.
Dude, I'm not scared. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go anytime. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. But obviously, for some reason, the fight's not happening. I don't have a contract in front of me.
Jason Miller isn't called mayhem for no reason. He has more than lived up to it. He is now doing time for several offenses that have accumulated over the years. Miller has been arrested and charged with criminal mischief, first-degree burglary, unauthorized taking of a vehicle, and grand theft auto. Geez, did he leave anything? Jason accepted a plea agreement that resulted in the dismissal of one felony count of attempted grand theft, but he was sentenced to a year in prison.
New York, unique. New York, unique. New York, unique. New York, unique.
And this wasn't even his first time. He has a history of involvement in similar incidents, including a lengthy standoff with police after an incident of domestic violence. Additionally, Miller was charged with stalking. Geez, creepy much? Miller's mixed martial arts record reads 23 wins, 10 defeats, and 1 no contest. So it might look good on paper, but that's all he has. In fact, things have been so rough for him that the fighter has been pretty MIA recently. Last time he fought was back in 2016 through the Venator FC banner in Italy. Now, that's a sad end. Next, we have a victim of drugs who dug his own grave in the game, Alistair Overeem. There's a lot of drama in Alistair Overeem's story.
Like I've been totally focused on the fight, so I don't pay attention to all the stuff going on in the lawsuit.
Before being discovered, most people who are caught with drugs at least get to use their medical advantage in a fight. Like, take Silva, for example. His victories might not count, but he did get to use the drugs to his benefit in the match. Unfortunately for Overeem, he failed a random pre-fight screening and was disqualified from his heavyweight title bout against Junior Dos Santos at UFC 146. Overeem did not have a current license when he was screened, thus he was not revoked of his privilege to practice. But for the next 9 months, he couldn't get a license. Like, I want to feel bad for him, but that's what happens when you cheat. Besides losing out on a definite championship opportunity, Overeem also made a pretty big fool of himself against Bigfoot Silva. Embarrassing. He believed a fast and easy win was within his reach if he just ran his opponent through with his hands down and ended up getting knocked unconscious.
So we had to have this game plan, figure out his rhythm first.
The last name today is a very famous one who is destroying his career as we speak. It's none other than the Irishman, Conor McGregor. The man has been through his fair share of controversial moves. The worst part is these instances keep piling on, and it's safe to say that there are many out there who just don't like him. Like, I'm pretty sure all of you remember the dead rat case. So basically, it all started when a multi-million-dollar lawsuit was filed against Conor by an ex-friend and training partner who claims to have helped Conor think of the concept for his proper number 12 whiskey. McGregor hasn't been shy in voicing his opinion on Lobov's lawsuit, calling him a rat on many occasions. The notorious may have done the same thing again with a strangely phrased tweet that he has since removed. The UFC superstar said, "I'm so I could write a book on dead rats," to his almost 10 million Twitter followers. Like, dude, what was that? Half the time I don't even understand what goes through his mind.
Fucking it pays off majorly, and all the small details of it make the big details.
Then there was the time he liked an X-rated video on Twitter. After the UFC star seemed to like an X-rated pornographic film on his Twitter account, Conor McGregor's fans were shocked. A person on Twitter with the handle BroGoalsAF shared a pornographic video of a guy touching himself, and UFC's poster boy ended up liking it. Not to mention the photos circulating of him on the internet where he was caught on top of another man. Now, those who know him might say that was staged, but I guess we'll never know for sure. With these controversial moves and so many more, the man has been gradually watching his career go down the drain. And with that, we'll be wrapping it up for today. See you in the next one.